Hey everyone, welcome to DankPod. Just kidding, there's no green iPad, there's no waifu, so it's not Zeus Reviews. I'll tell you what we do have today. We've got these guys, the 7Hz Timeless, something that so many channels have talked about that they're saying they can take on $1,000 earbuds. Ooh, well, we'll just see about that today, won't we? This is the box it comes in. This is an auditory revolution. Headphones are no longer cold equipment. Timeless feels the temperature of the music with you. There you have it, chaps. Music no longer cold, because 7Hz. And then, and this is really ironic, right? You open the pack, and what do you find? Big ass block of aluminium. I kid you not, this thing is solid. Now I think the idea is you've got something so precious, so amazing that you need to keep it in this vault. Forget your valuables, forget your safe deposit box. No. This is where these things go. Now, inside it, of course, are the earbuds themselves, but okay, you know what? Hang on a second. I just want to see what these things actually weigh. 147 grams just for the case. That, my friends, that is not travel friendly. It looks cool though. It looks cool. Nice brushed aluminium block. We'll just keep that aside and we will get our earbuds. Straight off the bat, the first thing you notice is the shape, right? And you're wondering, oh, that is striking, that's kind of cool, but is it going to fit everyone? Honestly, it looks kind of nice. I like that it's striking. I like it when brands try something new instead of going for the usual thing. And yes, in case you were wondering, this is very comfortable because it's actually thinner than you'd imagine and it's really, really light. So there's absolutely no stress in the ear whatsoever. Now, for some people, apparently, this doesn't go in your ear far enough. I don't know, that's a thing I've heard on the internet, but unless you're an etymotic freak, I think this will be fine. I've put the hybrid tips on here. These are the Sony hybrid tips. They're not the ones that these come with, but the silicone tips that these come with, they are quite nice. I've got no problems there. The wires are actually really good. I mean, it's not going to win any awards. It's not the best thing on the market or anything like that, but it's soft, it's supple, and honestly, you could do worse. As a side note, I always wonder, these things, when they say gold plated, is it actually gold plated? I suppose it doesn't cost that much to gold plate these things. Nonetheless, look, these are very comfortable. This is what they look in my ear. Ta-da! Do I look like a tool or not? That's you just tell me in the comments down below. But the mainstay is sound. Like unlike my other reviews where I usually do Bluetooth earbuds and such, there's a lot of tech, a lot of software to talk about. This one is just pure and simple, good old analog sound. How do they sound? Okay, here's the thing. They're kind of awesome in some very specific ways. See, the thing about planars is that they tend to reproduce music very quickly. What that means is if you've got a bunch of hi-hats, like the drummer's going on those hi-hats, each one of those little beats on the hi-hat will be reproduced very quickly and will fade away very quickly. So that gives you the impression of a lot of information being brought to you. And it is for that reason that the highs on this stand out a lot. And they stand out because there is a lot of it. That's not to say that the highs overpower everything else. No. They don't do that at all. But they're very sharp. They're very precise, and all of it is brought to your attention. To some people, that can seem a little overwhelming, but I will say that not once did I find it to become harsh or sibilant or anything like that. I will say for the bass that it has actually excellent sub-bass extension. You get that nice deep rumble, and part of that is because while planars are not particularly good at bass, these particular ones have been made to have a very, very boosted bass. Quite a boosted bass, to the point where they can affect your listening experience. See, if you're listening to newer music with a lot of beat, this is going to sound amazing. It might not provide the thump and the boom that pure bass monsters crave. Like, for example, if you happen to like Skull Candy Crushers, well, then I can't help you. There's nothing we can do to help you. I'm sorry. Go see a doctor. But for everyone else, that's a lot of bass, and it's a very tight controlled bass that doesn't leak out to the other frequencies, which is really, really something to appreciate, especially at this price point. It's just not something you get very often. The other thing about the bass is that it's not particularly detailed. Yes, I know you'd be shocked. These things are supposed to go up against $1,000 IEMs. No, they're good, they're well-defined bass, and I'm very, very happy with them for the price, but they are in no way more detailed than even something that's double the price. As for the mids, here's something really marvelous. Planar IEMs, planar anything is just not known to reproduce mids with this kind of sweetness. This, I mean, it's not going to be better than Sennheiser HD6Xs or something, nothing like that, but it's really, really good. Like, it sounds very natural. It's not warm and lush like you would get from a dynamic driver, but this is the closest you'd get to a dynamic driver sound in terms of the timbre of those mids. So on the one hand, you've got really nice controlled bass, even though it's not the most detailed. On the other hand, you've got highs that never get shrill and harsh, but they're always there in the mix, and a mid section that sounds really, really nice overall and have no complaints. The only thing is, because this is such a bass boosted IEM, if you're listening to older tracks like from the 70s, 80s, or if you got a music that's just mixed a little differently and the beat is not supposed to stand out as the mainstay of the song, well, these kind of make them stand out a little more than they're supposed to. So that is a bit of a downside. That's not to say the mids sound veiled or muddied, but the fact is, well, the mids shouldn't be that far recessed on those tracks. Newer tracks like anything from Sia, Ariana Grande, anything more recently mixed, anything with a lot of compression, they will sound fantastic on this. As for the other technicalities, like for example Soundstage, you know what? Okay, let me explain. We'll get Bangalore here. Hi Bangalore. Now, if we place this IEM on either side of her head like so, then her soundstage will be from here to here. It doesn't extend beyond the head, but it's not coming out of the center either, which is something you do find in a lot of other IEMs. It has a decent amount of soundstage, but here's the catch. When you listen to movies or video games, you can have a soundstage that's well outside of your head, that's all around, right? Because various sound effects can be coming from anywhere, forward, behind, up, down, whatever. These guys manage to give you a good solid soundstage, but only in this axis. It's only left to right. There's no forward, there's no back, there's no up, there's no down, left to right. And what that means is, it's not going to be particularly bad for music listening, but if you want to use it for gaming, then it's going to be less than stellar. And what makes this worse is that imaging is, how do I say this? Not phenomenal. It's not bad, but it's not nearly enough for gaming, and even in music, I could say that the imaging could definitely be better. So to sum it up, you've got a surprisingly light and comfortable earbud, despite their appearance. You've got something that produces the entire frequency range quite well. It does good service to the lows, mids, and highs. There's a lot of highs in there, and that's not necessarily how every track should sound. It's just the nature of the driver itself. The bass, well, there's spades of it, and you may or may not like that. It depends on the kind of music you're playing. If you're playing old school rock, you'll find that this bass is a little overbearing, but it does not muddy the rest of the frequency at all. The timbre and the texture of the mids, truly wondrous. It's not lush and warm per se, but they sound very natural. It's not going to be a detail monster, and despite what everyone is saying, I strongly believe that anything double its price, so $400 to $500, will be better in many ways, especially detail and resolution. But to be fair, I'd struggle to find anything in the $200 range or even a little bit higher that can reproduce music with this speed and anything with such clean sound. That's the best way I can explain it. Everything is reproduced clearly despite the mids seeming a little recessed on many tracks. So is it worth the money? I think as a planar IEM, at this price, this is a bloody marvel. Will this compete against things that are double its price? Yeah, probably not. But all in all, very, very enjoyable IEM that's going to keep you satisfied for a very long time. And that's about it. There's no point me taking up any more of your time, so I won't, except to ask you to hit that subscribe button, maybe. Oh, and before I forget, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Stay happy, stay peaceful, stay colorful. Namaste.